Chapter 11. Manhattan. The next day, Derpy was free to go. I escorted her back slowly to the house. It had been a while since she stood and walked. She was amazed by the new layout of the house, even more so when I told her it was only Big Mac and myself that did the moving. Naturally, she apologized for us having to move things on account of her, but it was never an issue for me. I assured her it'll be for the best, and she shouldn't worry so much. We went to work with placing her medicine in easy-to-remember spots and comfortable positions for her to sleep in. She mentioned that her bed at the hospital was extremely uncomfortable, so made me laugh more than I probably should have. During this entire process, she never took her eyes off of me, as to savor the last moment she would see me before I left. I noticed this was almost immediately, yet paid no mind to it. My priorities were to make sure she would be safe and secure when I was gone.
Looks like you got with you,
she told me. Me too, but the doctor was explicit with who having to stay here. In truth, I probably could have brought her along, if what I told her I would be doing in the city was actually true. We tried to sleep we always slept together in the night, but her injuries prevented me from holding her onto me. I even tried switching roles, but once again her injuries got in the way of me holding her. Though we slept in the same bed, we were more separate than we were together. In the middle of the night I heard her faintly sobbing, and all I could do was put my hoof on her shoulder. It wasn't much, but she found some comfort out of it. Day broke, and it was time to leave. Big Mac came to the house to help Derpy follow me to the train station. Like always, I was grateful for his assistance. We arrived at the station 10 minutes before departure, which was enough time to say my goodbyes to the both of them. I said goodbye to Big Mac first, then took him inside, so Derpy wouldn't hear us. Be sure to check up on her when I'm gone, I told him just to be sure.
Don't worry, she'll be safe,
he said with gusto. I didn't doubt him for a second. I'll make it up to you someday. I could help your family with the next apple plucking season. Big Mac chuckled as he slapped me on the back with great force. It hurt.
There's no need. I just hope you find what you're looking for.
I hope so too. I gave Big Mac a light hug before we walked over to Derpy. Before I could say a word, he embraced me with a surprising amount of speed, releasing a flurry of kisses on the neck, cheek, and mouth. I almost fell down in astonishment. Be careful, I said. You're going to get hurt. Not that I didn't welcome the bevy of affection I was getting, but I could tell this was hurting her.
Don't care,
she said in tears. It'll only be a few days, I promise.
Just be back in time for my birthday, okay? Give me a present if you haven't gotten one already.
Your birthday isn't for another few weeks.
I know, but if you're not back then, I'll...
I interrupted her with a soft, gentle kiss. For a few moments, her worries were gone. So were mine. The clock above the station rang. It was time to go. I separated myself from her and went on board the train. Walking into the big empty train car, I looked outside and found my car was right next to Derpy and Big Mac. Big Mac noticed me first and pointed Derpy to my direction. They both waved goodbye, and I returned the gesture. The train started to move. As it was making its way out, Derpy tried to chase it. Her limp wasn't doing her any favors. She raced the edge of the station, and I realized something I never told her. I ran as fast as I could enter the train, opened the back door, looked straight at Derpy, and oh my god, this is cheesily cliche! I yelled at the top of my lungs with all the pride in the world. I love you! Oh my god! Train station? Riding away? Really? We're doing this cliche! What? Granted, I haven't seen this cliche done in years, but this has been a joke by now! I love you! Even from the distance it was now and I could see her smile. I love you too! I heard her call out. It was all that needed to last the next few days without her. He said, while standing next to all the other people that were saying goodbye to their loved ones at the train station. I arrived in the city of Manhattan within a few hours. It's been so long since I visited the city I grew up in, I almost didn't recognize it. Gone was the quiet calm of Ponyville, replaced with magic-powered cars and Philly-screaming newspaper headlines. I did not miss the place one bit. The old apartment I used to was still no longer mine. I was sure it was now taken by some pony who enjoyed the noise of the city, or some pony like me who barely tolerated it. I checked into a nearby hotel. I had the extra bit, so figured it was something nice. It was a pretty decent room, with room service and a variety of films to watch on television, some less appropriate than others, but it came with the territory. The previous tenant forgot to throw away his service bill by the table. I took a peek. Not only was the price due to films he watched were definitely in the not safe for Phillies category, threw away the paper as fast as I possibly could. So here I was, miles away from home, with only my thoughts, my bits, and my bag of essentials. It was time to roam around. The memories of Manhattan slowly came to me as I spent the first day walking around the city. Recognized the various places I went to, restaurants, dessert shops, the theaters, tried out muffins inside one of the bakeries. It was alright, but inferior to the muffins at Chicken Cube Corner. Definitely pales in comparison to the muffins Derpy made. Pretty soon I made my way around Manhattan like I did before. I moved away. I also made a few extra stops to pick up a few things before heading out of the shopping district. Next day I started my search for a professional eye doctor. The first hospital was no help, only specializing in standard medical procedures. The same went for the next two that followed. On the last one, a nurse was kind enough to direct me to a place whose specialty was eye surgery. A place I hadn't even heard of before, called Crystal Clear, was unexpectedly located around where I stayed at. I faced of myself for missing it, then thanked the nurse for her assistance, along with apologizing for bearing witness to my self-inflicted face assault. It was time for the moment of truth. I didn't bother to go back to the hotel to rest. Now I found the only possible solution. I had to know now rather than later. There it was, crystal clear, in bright blue letters. I didn't even miss this. The sign was so flashy, of course, with a flashy sign. Could mean the place was not the real deal. Nevertheless, I walked inside. The place was nearly barren, in terms of actual patients. The actual lobby was very nice, very clean, and at the end was a pretty little unicorn receptionist, who noticed me walking in.
Can I help you?
She said as I walked over to her. Actually, I was wondering if this place could help me.
You want an appointment for magic eye surgery? There's a bit of a wait,
she said, taking note of my glasses. It's for somebody else. Is there a doctor I could talk to right now?
Where is this other pony?
Please, I just need someone to talk to. She stared at me with an inconvenient stare. She picked up the nearby phone with her magic and dialing a number. After a few moments of waiting for an answer, she talked to it.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but there's some pony who wants to talk about a possible appointment.
She paused.
Not with him, with somebody else. Another pause. I told him that, but he likes to management about seeing somebody.
After another pause, she then chuckled.
Okay.
She hung up the phone.
Dr. Eagle Eyes will see you. She's down the hall, to your right. Can't miss her.
Eagle Eyes? I questioned.
Down the hall, to your right.
She reiterated, annoyed with me. I did as I asked, so I said MD. Opening, I was surprised to see that this Dr. Eagle Eyes was a Griffith. My past experiences with Griffiths weren't the most pleasant. However, I wasn't going to let that cloud my judgment. Yeah! Don't be a racist, you dork! She looked at me and smiled. First time I ever seen Griffin smile.
Hello,
she spoke first.
I'm Dr. Eagle Eyes. The name's a little on the nose, I know, but it was the name I was given. Please, have a seat.
I sat down and introduced myself. She inspected my eyes, kneeling my glasses, complimenting design.
Are you sure you don't want magic eye surgery? I can fix your vision in no time.
Not today. I'm here to inquire about a possible appointment with somebody else. My mere friend.
Why isn't she here right now?
She doesn't know if I'm dead. If she did, I don't think I would be sitting here right now.
What seems to be the trouble with her?
I reached into my small bag to pull out a few pictures of Derpy and I, back when we started dating. They were very beautiful pictures of us, mealing in the park, playing around. I separated the pictures by the best ones that only contained her, making her eyes easy to see. I gave them to Eagle Eyes. She took them. I noted her talents. They looked sharp, even enough to perform surgery with. However, she handled the pictures with delicacy. She smiled at each successive picture.
Okay, am I the only one who feels a little uncomfortable with this guy going out and finding a good surgeon and stuff like that without Derpy? There's just something icky about it. Just, ugh. There's just something wrong.
She's very pretty, she said. You photographed really well. That's the name. Her name is Titsy Doo, but she's not commonly known as Derpy.
No doubt. Due to her eye.
Exactly. She shook her head in disbelief.
Since she's not here, what can you tell me about her condition? Can she see out of it?
I think so. And you does this illustrating one of the big problems. It's something she had for most of her life. It's been affecting her performance at work and at home. She says she loses balance, gets dizzy, and sometimes forgets her sense of direction. She's been prone to accidents. The last one was really bad. She could see the sadness in my eyes.
From the way you speak of her, sounds like you care about her a lot.
I do. I want her to be happy. If that means giving you all my bits, I will.
I admire your determination. I really do. Unfortunately, I cannot accurately diagnose a possible patient who is not present here,
she says as she gives back the picture.
I'm sorry! I had to put a little emphasis on that because I don't think this guy is smart enough to realize that.
I put them back in my bag, ready to leave the room. It wasn't the answer I was looking for, but I was getting it.
What, a perfectly logical conclusion? That, hey, kind of hard to diagnose the patient without the patient right there! You's a dumbass!
Look, I get it. You don't want to hurt her feelings.
Well, guess what? If you tell her right, if you keep this hidden from her and tell her right, and tell her as soon as you get back, it's gonna hurt her feelings. I wouldn't be surprised if she dumps your ass. I'm not the thinnest young coat. Despite this, from what I can see from the pictures, a pretty good idea what she might have, and it is treatable.
My heart nearly jumped out of my mouth hearing the news.
However, it's only a chance. She could have an advanced version of the disease, or something else entirely. It might require some heavy surgery. Still, in order to give an exact diagnosis, I need her here. Get it? Need her here? Can you do that for me?
Yes, it means she'll be cured. I can do that.
Good. I'm going to mark you as a special appointment. When you're ready to come back with Dissy Do, I'll be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So thank me yet.
Just wait till I see my bill.
Just bring her here.
Yes, I will. Thank you again, I yelled as I ran out the door. I was happy. It might have been a chance. It was better than nothing at all. I galloped back to the hotel, jumped on the bed like excited feeling that just got his first candy bar. I think I might have overdone it just a little bit. A series of gems, I lay in the bed, ecstatic and then scared. The hard part was over. Now I had to go back to Ponyville and tell her the truth.
I'm telling you right now, there's something about this that's just making me twitch.
I wish I could tell you that during the entire train ride back to Ponyville, I was nothing more than happy to tell Derpy the news. But that would be wrong. Yes, I left Manhattan earlier than I initially scheduled. Yes, you will be happy to see me before how long. I was a cult full of questions in my head, and today was no different. Like I've always done before giving unexpected news, I predict all the bad things that would come to pass. I'm very negative, not a great personality trait to have. The train made it to the station about the same time it took to get to Manhattan. No pony was there to greet me, nor did I expect any pony to. I wanted to surprise Derpy with my early arrival, just before I broke the news to her. Only a few citizens took note of my return. Applejack greeted me as I walked through town. Mrs. K threw me a friendly wave, and that pink pony who I met when I first came to town bounced up and down, excited to see me return. I didn't know her name.
How do you not know Piggy's name? She says right when she first jumps on you. She says that to me when I popped up planeswalking. Hell, she says that whenever she steals my planeswalker ring.
Well, nice to be welcome back. It made me feel more at home than I already was. I made it home, just clean as it ever did. I even noticed there was now a small garden of roses where there used to be a patch of dirt. Big Mac, or maybe Derpy, must have planted those there. Roses were her favorite after all. Big Mac knew that. I had to say it did compliment the exterior of her house more than expected. Looking at the big picture, I didn't realize I was dilly-dallying. I should be in there, greeting her, confessing my lie to her. I took a deep breath and walked in. Nothing. Quiet. It didn't look like Game Pony was home. Hello? I called out. Silence. Derpy? Suddenly I heard the sound of a plate dropping on the floor in the kitchen. In an instant, I see her, Derpy, her wings still bandaged, but leg no longer in a cast, hurrying into the living room to see me.
You're home!
Joy. She ran to me, wrapped her forelegs around me. The embrace was almost as strong as Pink Mac's, but way more comfortable and less life-threatening. She kissed me as rapidly as she did when I left us a couple of days ago.
Can't believe you're here! I was expecting you for another day or so!
I decided to come home a bit early. Sorry for not telling you ahead of time.
No, it's great. Sorry for breaking one of the place. I think it was yours.
That's fine, I assure you. We have plenty. Derpy turned away from me to pick the pieces of the broken plate up. Sleep our plan. Actually, there's something I want to talk to you about. I wasted no time to tell her what I was truly up to. It's about his main hand.
All right, I forgot to mention.
Siak said. There was no meeting. Derpy started collecting plates and turned to me with a bewildered look on her face. I never saw my editor.
What are you talking about? She replied. Your editor about some news, that's why you went.
No, it wasn't. I went to see a doctor.
Why? Did he get sick? Is that why you missed your meeting?
No, Derpy, there was no meeting. I lied to you. Derpy stepped back, crossing the plate charts even further. The look of love on her face was becoming something else. A combination of confusion and anger. And personally, I think she has every right to be.
You lied to me? Why would you do that? Why was seeing a doctor? You had to lie to me about it.
Because I didn't see the doctor for me. I saw one for you. She raised an eyebrow the moment I said that. It was about now time to come clean. Her name is Dr. Eagle Eyes, and she specializes in corrective eye surgery. I told her about you. I showed her some pictures, but she can't full diagnosis unless she sees you soon. But she says there's a chance to make you better. I wanted you to tell you I was up to before I left, but I was worried you'd say no. I'm really sorry. Nothing. No words. Just a cold stare. You know, there's this musical called Tommy that features the main character who's blind, mute, and deaf. After he becomes rich and famous, his stepfather and mother, well, stepdad mainly, goes off to find a doctor. Now, this works because, for one thing, they have enough money to do this. And second of all, this actually is a debilitating disease, and it's something that goes wrong. But what's more, Tommy really can't give consent. It doesn't feel as icky as this, where Derpy is talking, she's walking, she can actually say something, and it feels like practically saying, you're not mature enough to make this decision. And it's just, ugh.
You want to fix me?
She said, no emotion in that voice. I didn't know how to answer that. The way she said fix implied I was unhappy with her appearance. Still, I couldn't lie to her more than I have. Yes, I replied quietly. Her eyes began to water with tears. She was angry with me. Good! She went right up to me, slapped me across the face. Good! Give me a few minutes and I'll do the same thing! I recoiled back from the slap and looked right at her. She had nothing to say with me. She pushed past me and headed towards the door. Derpy! I cried out, catching up to her before she made her way out.
Don't talk to me!
She yelled in seconds, stormed out of the house. I chased after her. She was walking out of town in a familiar direction. You know, maybe it's just the way I was raised, but personally, I believe in honesty. I believe in fairness. And I also believe in caring for your partner. I believe a relationship should be about equals. So I feel like if this was me in my position, I would have been honest. I would have sat down and talked to Derpy like she was an adult. Now I know that this can't always be possible. Sometimes there's a life-debilitating disease or some of something that you're embarrassed by, some sort of cancer that could really harm you. And that could lead to somebody not wanting to get the treatment, be stomached. That is a possibility. I get that. But something as simple as this, no. This should have been handled way better. He should have been an adult and sat down and talked to her and respected her. But the way he's talking, the way this whole entire thing's been set up, it feels like he doesn't care. Feels like he doesn't care about her as a pony. And I just want to bitch slap him for it. Where are you going? I yelled at her.
Going home.
Your home is here.
No, my real home, away from you.
Will you wait a second and let me explain myself? She stopped and turned around quickly. Her look was some point ready to launch a barrage of hate on some poor soul. Good!
Fine, she yells. Tell me, why do you want to fix me?
See, her screams catch the attention of nearby ponies. We're beginning to gather a small crowd of interested citizens. It's not that I want to, it's just... I paused. I took a chance. Dinky was concerned about your condition, and I felt bad for bringing Dinky into conversation. But she had to know.
Dinky? She interrupted. She loves me. She would never say that. How dare you blame your lies on her?
I would never lie about your daughter. She's great. I'm telling you the truth.
And so, you could have just disagreed. Not go all the way to Manhattan behind my back!
I did disagree with her. It's just
what? What is it? Why did you lie to me? Did you ever consider him? It was you who taught me not to care what anybody thought.
I know I did, but if you please, hypocrite.
Tell me something. Were you lying to me when you said I was beautiful?
No.
Was this the kind of plan to get me to think that you loved me? To try to turn me into a normal mare?
No!
What is it? Why do you want to fix me?
I can't lose you! I screamed. She stopped with the questions, in fact. She just stopped talking. She watched me as I kneeled to the ground, sobbing, begging her to stay. No, Derpy, don't fall for this! She kneeled to my level, faced me, looking me in the eyes.
What do you mean? She said. What do you mean by lose me?
I repeat, don't fall for this, Derpy. This is a typical abuser trick, alright? This guy will suddenly say, I love you, I need you, please don't. It makes him sound weaker than he really is, just so he can lure you to a trap. Don't fall for it! I told her everything. Everything that I've told you that had been racing through my head for the past few weeks. I poured it all out. How I was afraid for her, afraid that one day she would be injured beyond my care. How I wasn't willing to accept that she needed help, even after Dinky pleaded to me on that day on the Ferris wheel. Since seeing for myself the night that Derpy had her accident. An accident that you could have done more to prevent. I told her how I stayed up all night in the hospital, scared she was going to die. That I would have never forgiven myself as she did. I threw in many apologies, asking her to selfish. There are more words you could use. During this whole speech, she watched my every move, heard my every word. I couldn't tell if she was still mad or even upset. There was nothing on her face. She was a very expressive mare, and seeing her with nothing on her face was breaking my heart. The other ponies couldn't take eyes off of us, but I couldn't even think about them at this point. When I was done, she didn't say a word. I sat there, waiting once, away, never to talk to me again. You know, I was 51st dates. What? Yeah, there's at least one Adam Sandler movie I like. Looked at the ground, setting my eyes tight, unable to bear it, descended poorly. But then, I felt a foreleg wrap around me, my chin resting on my shoulder. Opening my eyes, I was resting on Derpy's shoulder. Oh, no, you poor girl! Then I moved my head to a more comfortable position. She hugged me tighter, knowing that I found that it was her. I could feel her tears pouring into my shoulder.
I'm so sorry, she said, voice breaking. I didn't mean to.
Oh, give me a break. I returned her hug with a keen sob. No, I don't lie to you. You have every reason to hate me right now. Yes?
I don't hate you.
The crowd dissipated, now that things were mostly...
When do you want to leave?
She asked quietly. I looked at her surprised. You want to go?
Yes.
She replied, a smirk creeping on her face.
Dinky was right about me, you know. She has a habit of knowing what I'm feeling.
It's a talent you both share. I nuzzled my cheek into hers.
You didn't answer my question. When do you want to leave?
Only when you want to.
Tomorrow, that's okay.
She replied after seconds of thinking. She went back to my house shortly afterwards. That night, we lied in bed like we always did, but neither of us could sleep. Neither of us could relax. All we could think about was what will happen when we arrive at Manhattan.
What happens if he says we can't help?
No. I said, I guess we'll just have to be more careful from then on. No, really? Why weren't you beforehand?
Will you still love me if I look like this forever?
What are you talking about? I was flabbergasted. I never stopped loving you. Even if you accidentally destroyed Town Hall, I would still love you.
She
mumbled. I looked at her. Faye said it all to me. You didn't destroy Town Hall already, did you?
It happened a long time ago, Derpy admitted. It was an accident.
I hugged her even tighter, laughing at the image I had in my head of her knocking over the top of the tower. Oh, Derpy. I giggled, kissing the top of her head.
Wasn't funny. Not at the time, anyway.
As she imagined whatever scenario played out, she started to chuckle.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything.
Do you think...
Our pause was long. I could feel her swallow her breath in one big gulp.
Do you think our foals will look like me?
My heart beat quickly and loudly. Foals? I never thought about having foals. She heard my rapid heartbeat and started to stammer.
I mean, hypothetically,
she tried to say.
I wasn't trying to say I want foals now, or I was trying to press you or anything. I was just wondering if maybe... Oh, Celestia, I'm messing this up, aren't I?
She buried her face in my coat. No, I said, holding her face to mine. You're not messing anything up. She began to calm. The truth is, I never really thought about it. I don't exactly think of myself as the fatherly type.
Why not? You'd be so good with thinking, and your foal would be lucky to have you as their dad.
Thank you, I blushed. But my father wasn't the greatest role model. Neither of my parents were. Afraid if we had a foal of our own, I would fall in their footsteps. Oh, God, don't start giving me a sob story now.
That's not true. I think you'd be a great dad.
Well, I think you make a great mom.
Oh, really?
She laughed.
The mother that knocks over buildings with a big rump?
I don't know. That sounds pretty awesome to me. Derby playfully smacked my chest in response.
So you think I have a big rump, eh?
She said slightly. Never. Anybody who says that is crazy or jealous. Besides, I'm the one with the big rump around here.
Not at all. She said, beginning to blush. It's perfectly fine.
How do we go from talking about fillies to the size of our flanks? We paused, simultaneously started to laugh. Strange conversation. But at least it's getting our minds off of what we would be doing the next day. Side note. An awkward first time scene done way better in Sabrina the comic. We're relaxed now. More comfortable than we were minutes ago.
I don't know, she said. But I haven't laughed like that in a long time.
And it felt Derpy getting closer to me, moving up to my chest to meet my face. She hovered her lips over mine before blending a lacy kiss. She parted from me. I can't saw her give me a look that was all too familiar. A look I haven't seen since the first night we slept together.
I think I'm ready.
She didn't have to say another word. I knew what she meant.